guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about the 15 books that I read in May and reading slump who? Literally reading slump who, because I had 2 5-star reads. I haven't had a 5-star read in months, and I had 2 in May, which is pretty dang good in my book. Also, at the end of this video, we're gonna be doing a TBR jar check-in / an unhaul because of the TBR check-in. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Let's start with our wrap-up. The first book that I read in May was Shield of Sparrows by Devyn Perry. This was actually one of my 5 stars. So I literally started off May with a 5-star read and I devoured this book. I hit a certain point in this book where I could not put it down until I finished it, and I was sobbing on my couch at 1:30 in the morning. Actually, not just sobbing, my mouth was like this. And then imagine tears. So it was both. My jaw was on the floor and I was a boo-hooing whale, and I couldn't move from the couch until I finished this thing. That's how good it was. And also I feel like a lot of people are not talking about the fact that this book is on Kindle Unlimited. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read this book right now, and I highly recommend that you do. I recommend that you click out of here, run, pick this one up, and then come on back when you're done. But if you don't want to do that, let me give you a little spoiler-free rundown on this thing. Shield of Sparrows is Devyn Perry's romantic debut, and we are following our main female character, Odessa. Odessa is the daughter of the king, but she is the daughter that's kind of been pushed aside. And the reason for this is when Odessa was younger, her mother passed away and her father, the king, remarried. Her stepmother really isn't that great, let me be so honest, and Odessa has several half-siblings. Now, Odessa's half-sister is the sister that has been trained and prepped to get married off in an arranged marriage to kind of unite the kingdoms. When the prince from this neighboring kingdom shows up with his bodyguard, who we will call the Guardian at this point in time, they show up and they tell the king, hey, I know me and your daughter are not supposed to be getting married for a while, but I actually want to get married tonight, and that is what we are going to do. And the king is like, okay, like, sure, of course, here is my daughter. And the Guardian looks at Odessa, looks at the king and says, no, we don't want her, we want Odessa. And everyone in the room's jaws are on the floor because they're like, Odessa? Why the heck do you want Odessa? She's raggedy. The king literally has no choice but to allow this prince to marry Odessa. Odessa is so confused, and right before she leaves, the king pulls her aside and says, I've been training your sister to be a spy in that kingdom for me. I know you have no training whatsoever, but I'm gonna really need you to pull through. I'm gonna need you to pull through for this family and this kingdom and get me some intel. Odessa, really wanting to win her father's approval, is like, of course I will, don't you worry one bit. But the problem is the Guardian really does not trust Odessa at all, and Odessa is not trained, so she's trying to be sneaky, but it's really not working, and the Guardian is not leaving her side. He is stuck to her like glue, and the story goes from there. Fantastic. There's a push and pull dynamic throughout this story that was just chef's kiss. The banter was top tier, and the world building was very well done, especially when she was describing all of these monsters and the chaos that was ensuing from the monsters. I was very impressed that this was literally a romantic debut. Very impressed. Next, I read Spotlight by Rebecca Genshak, and I'm giving this one 3.75 stars. This is the last book in the Holland Brothers series. They're a series of interconnected standalones on Kindle Unlimited. They're all sports romances, but each book is following a different Holland brother, and most of them do different sports. So the first book is motocross / gymnastics. The second and third books are both football, and then this last one is baseball. And they do not have to be read in order. I do recommend that you read them in order just because you get to see all the couples together as the books kind of progress, but to each his own. You will not be confused if you choose to read them out of order. In this book, we are following the youngest of the Holland brothers, and his name is Flynn, and he is a professional baseball player. Flynn and Olivia is our female main character, they both just happen to wind up in New York City on the same night, and they have a chance encounter on their respective balconies in their hotel. They wind up talking all night. Like literally, Olivia goes to Flynn's room and the only thing they do that night is talk until they both fall asleep. Flynn is happy as can be. He's like, oh my gosh, like this is my dream girl right here. I've never been able to have such an easygoing conversation with someone that just gets me. But Flynn's agent calls him and is like, hey, you need to get here right now. I'm talking to the team that you really want to be a part of, and the coach wants to meet you. Flynn is thinking to himself, okay, I can make it back before she is even awake. I can do both. It's perfect. I don't even have to say goodbye. Like, she will not even know I'm gone. She realizes that he has left, and she believes that he's ghosted her, so she leaves immediately. So when Flynn gets back, he's searching high and low for Olivia to find that she's already checked out of her room. There's no number on file, nothing. His dream girl vanished. Let's now pan to present day, and Olivia's best friend is named Sabrina. We see Sabrina in the previous book because that was literally her book. Sabrina is dating one of the Holland brothers. The Holland brothers are telling Olivia that, yeah, our youngest brother just got signed to the baseball team in the city. It's so exciting. We're going to be a family again. And Olivia's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to meet him. That's so fun. That is so exciting for all of you. When he walks in, she is just like, oh no. Oh no, oh no, I cannot stand you because you ghosted me. You ghosted me with no explanation. But Flynn, on the other hand, is like, oh my gosh, this is fate. This is the love of my life. This is perfect. And their story goes from there. Olivia is a single mom. And there is a bit of an age gap because Olivia is a couple years older than Flynn. I really enjoyed this book. I did end up giving it 3.75 stars just because it wasn't my favorite in the series. And also there were a few moments where I did not think certain things needed to occur. And those certain things took me out of the story just a little bit. But all in all, it was a super fun time. It was a really good conclusion for the series as a whole. And I'm excited to see where Becca does next. All right, this is where we go a little crazy. This is where we went a little crazy once again, guys, because I'm back in my alien romance era, I guess, because I read 4 alien romances back to back to back to back. I read the first 4 books in the Choosing Theo series. I don't actually know if that's the name of the series or just the name of the first book. If it's not, I'll put it down below and y'all can see. These books were fun. These books very much reminded me of Ice Planet Barbarians. With these books, I would literally go to bed, download one of them on my Kindle, and not go to bed till I finished it. And then I'd sleep. That is what I did with this series. So if you want something that's like a little mindless, a little fun, a little flirty, a little smutty, this is what you need. That's what you need in your life. The first book is Choosing Theo, and it has a very similar structure to Ice Planet Barbarians. We're following this woman. She was abducted by aliens. She winds up on this planet. Here's where it differs though. On this planet, the females need to get married, and so there's like a marriage choosing ceremony. Marriage is basically the equivalent of human dating. You only have to be married for 3 months. They want our female main character to be a part of this ceremony, and so she's like, I really don't have a choice, so I guess that's fine. You just go through all the eligible bachelors, and there's different rounds, yada, yada, yada. Ends up choosing this alien named Theo. Theo has been on the marriage market for forever because of his appearance, and so he's like, is this just a practical joke? Did she just choose me because of a joke? This makes no sense. And the story goes from there, and it is really fun. It honestly reminded me a little bit of Beauty and the Beast. Like, to some extent, it gave Beauty and the Beast vibes in the best way possible. This series as a whole is just a good time. I don't think I'm going to continue on just because I believe there's like 9 books and I've got my fill with it. But if you like Ice Planet Barbarians, check this one out because dare I say, this one might be better. Next, I read Rewind It Back by Liz Tom 40. And yes, I just learned that it's Liz Tom 40, not Tom Ford. The more you know, guys. This book will be in my top 5 of the year. This was a 6-star read. Like, let's skip 5-star and give it a 6-star because this was fantastic. This is the last book in the Windy City series. Interconnected standalones. They're on Kindle Unlimited. Sports, romance, yada, yada, yada. Except I was really nervous going into this book because I DNF'd the first one, Mile High. I got 50% into it and I could not, for the life of me, finish that book. The reason I was nervous about this one is because this one is dealing with a character that was pretty prominent in Mile High, and it's the same sport from Mile High. So Mile High, which is the first book, is hockey. The second book, The Right Move, is basketball. Caught Up and Play Along are both baseball, and then the last one, which is Rewind It Back, is hockey again. So I was a little hesitant since the first book is the only one in the series I did not like, but this did not disappoint. It did not disappoint at all. This is a second chance romance between our main characters, Rio and Hallie. She really ate with the second chance. You all know that's my bread and butter, but like she actually ate and left no crumbs with this one. Dual POV, dual timeline, and also she had them break up in the past for a valid reason. Sometimes in a second chance you have them break up and you're like, this is an itty bitty thing. If you guys would just talk, like everything would be solved. There'd be no harm, no foul, no issue. No, they had a valid reason for breaking up and a valid reason for not talking and being in each other's lives for 6 years. Rio and Hallie were next door neighbors when they were growing up, and they started dating when they were 15. They broke up when they were 19, and they have not talked for 6 years. Present day, Hallie is moving into a house that she helped design because she is an interior designer, and what are the odds that, oh my goodness, her next door neighbor is Rio? So once again, they find themselves as neighbors. Liz Tom 40 did this one thing that I did not know I loved until I read this book. You would see these characters and one of them would do this small, tiny, subtle action, and you would see the other character's reaction to this, and it would be like a little off. And as a reader, you would think to yourself, what's going on? Like, what does this mean? You would then immediately pan to a past chapter. You're going through the chapter, couple pages in, and then again, subtly, is the same action we saw in present day, and you learn why it's significant. And it was intertwined so well. It wasn't like smack dab in your face. It was subtle. And it was powerful. Dare I say it was powerful? And that's a micro trope I didn't know I loved. Moral of the story though, I highly recommend. This is a 6-star read for me, and it was just fantastic. Next I picked up The Romance Rivalry by Susan Lee. This was so cutie. I ended up giving this one 4.25 stars. If you're a fan of Lynn Painter, Jenny Han, or even K.L. Walther, I think you will very much enjoy this book. In this book we are following a bookish content creator. Kind of meta, right? But anywho, we're following a bookish content creator, and she has a platform of like 1 million followers. She's huge in the romance world, but she has this rival content creator where every time she reads and reviews a book, this content creator is in her comment section saying, I recently just read this book too, and I actually didn't like it. Like, he is disagreeing with every single thing she has to say. And so our main girl is like, well, you know what? You're my rival. It is set in stone that you are my rival and I cannot stand you. Anywho, our main female character is about to start her freshman year at college, and her plan for this year is to try and fall in love. As I said, she is a bookish content creator, but she really focuses on romance, and she's never been in a relationship, and she's starting to feel like a phony. She's thinking to herself, how on earth am I able to recommend all these romance books or even criticize certain romance books if I've never been in love? She goes to one of her classes and she sees this boy who looks oddly familiar to her. She has no clue why she recognizes him, but then he takes the chair next to her and she realizes, oh my God, you're my rival. What are you doing here? And it's that other content creator who just happens to be a freshman at the same college as her. He doesn't understand the fact that she truly just thinks they're enemies. He just thinks that they're having nice little conversations about how reading is subjective on the internet. He learns though that she has this plan to fall in love, and he's like, you know what? Let's make this a competition. Why don't we see who can fall in love first using only romance book tropes? And the story goes from there, and the chemistry is everything. The chemistry is off the charts, and this one is so cute. Oh my gosh, it just brought a smile to my face. I highly recommend this one, guys. Next, I read A Good Book by Julie Ann. I'm giving this one 3 stars. I don't know what it is about this series, and I don't know why I keep coming back to it, because it is frustrating as all get out, but I also can't stop reading it. It's like a train wreck. You don't want to look away from it. But I was unbelievably frustrated, and I think it's because these books are so angsty. Like, think of the most angsty thing you possibly can, like an ABC Family show, not even CW, ABC Family. That's this series in a nutshell. This is actually the final book in the series, and we're following the younger sister. She is starting college. She chose this college because the love of her life has been here for a few years, and she is obsessed, and she's convinced that this man is her soulmate. Except this man's a couple years older than her, and also he is her sister's ex-boyfriend. Honestly, he doesn't really realize that she even exists. But as I said, she's convinced that they are meant to be, but she's a little worried because she's never had her first kiss. She hasn't been kissed yet. She tells her guy best friend this, and she's like, please, please just kiss me. I need to be kissed or else my life is ruined. So he does. They actually end up kissing twice. And that second kiss really makes our main female character overthink everything. She's like, I need some time to process. I don't understand what happened. Like, I'm in love with this guy, but now I can't stop thinking about you and you're my best friend. Like, what? But the thing is right after this second kiss, something horrible happens to her guy best friend, and he is forced to drop out of school. And the story goes from there. This one is very heavy. I would look up the trigger warnings. It's also just a crazy ride. If you want a book that you can read in one sitting, this is the book for you. Next, I read Hat Trick by Chelsea Curto. I'm giving this one 4.5 stars. This is the 4th book in the DC Stars series. Hockey romance, interconnected standalones, fantastic. If you like the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, but you wish it was professional league, this is for you. Like, truly, this one is for you. This is Riley and Lexi's story. This one is really heavy, guys, so please look into the trigger warnings. Riley has been in love with Lexi basically since the first time he laid eyes on her. After one of their events, Riley ends up in a very bad accident where he almost doesn't survive, and he ends up losing his right leg. Riley is a hockey player, and his whole life has been hockey. So not only has he lost a leg, but he's also lost his first love, which is hockey. Alexia's the athletic trainer for this team, and she is convinced that she can help him out, that she can bring him back to the Riley they all know and love, and maybe even get him to skate once again. Riley tells everyone that he's only doing this if Lexi is the one in charge of his training. And it is just a whole lot of forced proximity. It is so good. Not only did I love the relationship that started to bloom between Riley and Lexi, but I love the relationship between Riley and his teammates. Even though Riley couldn't really be in the same place that he once was, his teammates never let him out of the picture. They were always there. They were always wanted to support him, and it was just so good. It was so good. This is not my favorite in the series. My favorite is still Slapshot, but this one is a close second. I did a 24-hour readathon this month. I have a vlog up. Y'all can check that out if you want a more in-depth explanation on any of these books. We're gonna rapid fire them. So first I read Passion Project by London Sperry. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine, 4.25 stars. Cross My Heart by Megan Collins, also 4.25 stars. Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley, 4.5 stars. And You, Me, and Forever by Laura Pavlov, 2.75 stars, leaning towards a 3-star. Quick little TBR check-in. I read Cross My Heart by Megan Collins, so I read that one from the jar. Now this is where we're getting a few loopholes. I did start Margot's Got Money Troubles, and I did start Serpent and the Wolf, but I didn't finish them. So I'm not unhauling them. I'm going to try and finish them before June. If I don't finish them in June, we are getting rid of them. I did not start Ministry of Time, and I will not be keeping that one. So I am unhauling Ministry of Time, but hopefully I can get to the 2 of these before the end of June. But guys, we love a loophole. That's it for this video. Those are all the 15 books that I read and loved in May. Let me know down below what the best book you read in May was, and I'll see y'all soon. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Have an amazing rest of your day.